Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's do second. Let's. Hello, hello, welcome. Feedback Friday. Who's first today? Both chats. Got USB-C enthusiast in the YouTube chat, and we got Dave. We got Dave in the Twitch chat. By the way, if you don't know, we're running 2 streams right now. One on Twitch and one on YouTube. Very hype. So if you don't know why you can't see anyone, or if you can't see the chat that's on the screen, then that's because it's on. Dave with the 26 months. Oh my goodness. Hype in the chat for Dave, 26 months subscribing. Thank you very much. What's going on? Pixel Toast, Taha, Abdullah Raham. What's going on? How's it going, everybody? How's everyone doing? I'm just going to jump into this. Shorter one today, probably like an hour. Let's go. Rafiels, what's going on? How you doing? Hello, Waters in the building. Hello, Waters. How you doing, Waters? Zerbu, first time chat. Hello, Honung. Hello. Let's jump in. Let's go. If you don't know how this works, basically, it works like this. Boom. Just like this. You post your work in the feedback channel in the Discord, and then tag it with Feedback Friday, and then we give feedback. You can give feedback. I can give feedback. Is it chill if I draw while watching? No, you're not allowed to do anything other than watch directly my bald head. Bonjour, bonjour. First feedback of the day goes to the food that I just ate, which was awesome. There you go. Really nice. Solid 10 out of 10. You always say that it's a short one, then you go for like 4 hours. I don't think I've ever done a 4 hour. Not Feedback Friday stuff. Usually like an hour and a half. Because my brain starts to hurt at about an hour in. And I've already been at work today, so my brain already hurts. I'm already fried. I would want nothing but to watch your magnificent head, so yeah. You can draw. What are you going to draw? That's the question. What are you going to draw? What up, Ed Friendo? How's it going? Doing pretty well. Had so many gigs last few weeks. I'm burnt. I've been doing more drawing recently. Nice. Well, that's cool. They've got gigs going on, though. Get the drawing in. Let's see where we're up to. Can anyone remember where we were up to last time? I think it was this one. I think we ended with the monochrome art by Lizard Like. And then, well, I guess we're here. Let's go. An asset pack. Just made this asset pack. Any feedback appreciated, please. Have a look. Too many requests. Okay, we're good now. Let's have a look at this asset pack, shall we? Like that. This is my pixel art assets made for an asset pack. Easy win. Simple top-down primitive survival asset pack. Nice. So how much is it? Name your own price. £0. Easy win. Make sure you include licenses with asset packs. Looks quite nice. Not bad. Nice little character. Overall looks very winter-based. Winter story-based. Looks like a cool little asset pack. Really, it's very small. You've used like the actual, maybe some preview images. Preview images in larger sizes, larger resolutions would help us see the assets a bit better. Because when you click on this, you're actually uploading the, seems like a real size or just a little bit. I'm a sucker for thick outlines. Yeah, me too. When they're used in the right places, or when they're used in places which like accentuate items against background, that's really cool. Yeah, I dig this style. It's very nice. I don't really have any feedback for it other than it looks like a cohesive little art style you've got going on here. And I can definitely see this being used in some sort of game or some sort of top-down world. So, very nice. Very cool. Very cool and very nice. Both of those things. Boom, 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 boom. Solid style. No feedback. There you go. No feedback. Next up. Does the music fit the game? Lizard like. Blizzard like posts 100 posts on Feedback Friday all of the time. Not that I mind. Okay, here we go. But give people a chance. You know what I mean? Listen to this music. This is a survival sandbox game I've been working on for a while. It's set on a small floating island in the middle of nothingness. There are also other islands further away. The game is very atmospheric, and I want to know if the soundtrack I made captures the overall feeling of loneliness in the game. Okay, let's listen. Are you ready? Let's go. Don't hear anything. I can hear something. Getting space vibes. Mystical, yes, mystical. This music I ascend to. Rise to the likes of no mortal. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of like I feel like the chords are a little too long. You know what I mean? I feel like the chords are just a little too long. They're held for just a little bit too long, to the point of uneasiness rather than loneliness. You know what I mean? I feel like it's uneasiness rather than loneliness. Like the same chord is just, for me personally, like it just hangs on just a little bit too long. What up, Practical? How you doing? Feather walk in the building. Low poly tree time. Apparently so. Yeah, I feel like the music hangs on just a touch too long per chord transition. Maybe a little bit shorter would help, because the chords that you've got, the chords that you're using, like the progression is nice, but it's too slow. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be super slow. Is this feedback on anything or just art? Anything, really. Hold on, have we missed things? I feel like I missed things. Have I gone too far? We did that. Oh, I've went way past some things. I went way past these things. Okay, we need to come back a little bit. We need to come back a little bit. School project song. What is this? What is going on here? Am I in the wrong place? It's Feedback Friday, of course it is. Of course it is. Piano track with 2 octaves higher than middle. Perhaps. Perhaps it is. Yeah, it's not very memorable. I definitely get like tranquil, but it's a little too long. You could post, but we probably won't get to it because we've got quite a lot to get through. We're probably like 1 week or 2 weeks behind at this point. You skipped forward quite a lot. Yeah, I didn't think so. We're about 1 or 2 weeks behind, so let's move on. Yeah, decent song. It kind of gets the mood. Feedback Friday on Monday it is. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I haven't really been streaming other days, Mondays and Wednesdays. Just haven't got the time, man. Just working. Just working. Though, if you do have enough channel points, which you probably have, Practical, you can just request feedback at any time. Well. So if I post my piece, you won't have time to review it? Probably not today, no. What have you been working on? Work. Shoe boxes. Putting shoe boxes in the right place. That's what I've been working on. Real life. Have a nice day. No worries. You too. No, probably not. We've got there's a big backlog. Usually I'd like to wait on feedback, but I might just cash in. Yeah, you can't do it on a Feedback Friday stream, but any other stream, it is possible. Any other stream, it is possible. On Monday or Wednesday one. That's just so that people can get feedback during the week. But you can't do it today because it's feedback day. Although I might change it. I might change it for people who are in the stream get priority feedback. That might be a better way to do it in the future, because obviously some of these people, even though they posted a while ago, they're not here. A lot of them aren't here, so I don't know what the best method is of doing Feedback Friday, to be honest with you, because I feel bad for the people who've posted and are waiting for feedback, but at the same time there are people here who would like feedback, and that's why you come here. So maybe I'll change it up. I don't know. Maybe I'll stop giving feedback altogether. We'll find out. Maybe you can have some kind of sign-in bot for chat. What do you mean? Maybe add that on the request feedback redeem description. What? What's going on, KO? Like, sign in so you know the artist is here. Sounds like a whole can of worms, this. Yeah, this is sounding very complicated. We're getting complicated here. I'll think about it. I think about what's possible. I think we're overcomplicating it a little bit. But yeah. Okay. Maybe they can rewatch the streams, or maybe you could write it in the chat. I mean, usually what happens is I give feedback on the streams to the work that's posted, and then the people watch the stream where they were given the feedback, basically. And the people who are live right now just get the knowledge. How's Faceplant going? Haven't worked on it in a while, Ruckus. It's been a few months since I've worked on it. I feel like I haven't seen you work on it on stream for a while. Yeah, I'm not going to work on it on stream anymore, I don't think. I'm not going to work on Faceplant on stream anymore. I've just finished a big video project that I released on Monday, and my next video will be about Faceplant. But I'm not sure exactly what it will be, because I don't really want to share anymore. I'm done sharing a Faceplant. I'm done sharing Faceplant, and I just want to finish it and get it released. You know, I'm kind of done with sharing progress about it. for a lot of reasons. But I don't really like developing on stream. I don't really like giving away ideas on stream. I don't really like I don't know. I don't really like working on Faceplant on stream. So I'm probably not going to do that again. Your recent video was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I just don't do any work, you know. Like the biggest reason is I don't actually do any work when I'm working on it on stream. I like, if I stream for 3 hours, I'll do maybe like 5-10 minutes of actual work on stream. So there's really no point in me streaming Faceplant development. I get way more done when I'm just working. So I'm not going to do that. So Faceplant looks super unique and fun. Thanks. It'll be finished eventually, and it'll be finished like this weekend. I'm going to work on it because I'm not at work. I'm not at work this weekend, so I'm just going to go. The Goblin voice was totally fine. Yeah, I became okay with it. Zai, yeah. I love the video. Got very inspired. Thanks a lot. It's one of my worst performing videos ever. Just so you know. I don't think I'll be able to concentrate on creating a game while streaming. I've seen some people do it, like Practical NPC is pretty good at it. But I just, like, some people can work on stream and I just can't. I just can't do it. I've never been able to do it. I've really never been able to work on stream. Like, I need to focus. Even with artwork, I just get overwhelmed. I had my notebook out ready to take notes. The Chinese has just arrived. What, to take your notebook or the food? Hello, Mr. Soul. Sorry I'm late. I was working on a platformer. Also, I changed my alias. What up, Sir Pudnik? How you doing? Let's continue, folks. Let's get on with this. Otherwise, we'll get through nothing. School project song. I have to finish this by next week, and I'm wondering what you guys think about it. My brain is destroyed from listening to this for 4 hours, so I'd be happy if someone else gave it a listen. What can I add? Is there anything I should remove? General opinions. I try to go with something jazzy, Since you watched Whiplash, we listened to this already. Why haven't I put the eyes on? Done. We've done that. Done that. Done that. Done that. This, looking for general feedback. We also talked about this. If I remember correctly, we did. Small pixel art forest. One of my first attempts for an environment. Hope you like it. Cool. Here we go. Not the Chinese. Yeah. Yeah, because I got ideas, and I just want to get Faceplant out the way as well, because I've got a different game idea that I want to make. I'm not excited. I'm not super excited about Faceplant anymore. But it needs to be done, you know? It needs to be done. I don't think it's too long for a video game project, in my opinion. It's too long to work on something for that long. Like a 2 year plus project, like for me, it's just not worth it. Like it's really not worth it. Yeah, too much contrast everywhere. I agree. It's hard to see. It's very noisy. And noisy isn't necessarily a bad thing, because noisy can work. Same for me, but 3 years, yeah. Mine's probably going to end up taking longer as well than I think. But yeah, I just don't. How long do you think is a good medium time to work on a project? I don't know. It really depends on you and what you like doing in your project. But for me, I don't want to be working on something for more than 6 months, I think. More than 6 months is too long. Hope everything besides the project, life in it. Life. It's going okay. Looking for more full-time work. Had a bunch of interviews recently. It's been going okay. Cracking on, really. I haven't had much time to do Faceplant stuff. What I recognize now with my stuff is beforehand, I could work on a bunch of things at once, like a video and the game, and, you know, discover new interests and have time to relax and do some commission work or artwork or whatever. Now I only have time for one thing outside of work. So I have to make sure that what I'm doing is the most important thing. Which is what I learned from the last video. Don't take on a big video project when you also have a game to work on. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Right, let's go. What they're doing. Let's take a look at the values and I'll show you just what I mean here. You'll see immediately that value-wise, have you ever thought to hire people? No money. No money, and it gets complicated with well, I've probably got money to hire people, but it gets complicated with so I'm classed as a sole trader. I'd have to then register as a business, because I'd then be hiring people, and then taxes gets complicated, and then I'd have to hire a different accountant who can deal with that tax, and then the upkeep for business cost would increase. Copyright problems, you'd need to have contracts, lawyers, sort all the contracts out, make sure it's legit, because the last thing you want to do, and this has happened in a bunch of different games. What was that? What was that mini island game? It was a mini island game that people worked on it together, and that got really complicated. But basically, if you're working with people and you haven't clearly defined who owns what, and the game explodes. Let's say I hire someone to do some backgrounds for me, and I say, right, here's £100, do some background art for me. They do the background art. I say that I have the artwork. I say in the contract that you owe me the artwork, and then I make £1 million, you know, and it's not clear. And your contract was worded in such a way that wasn't properly legal, and they can hire a lawyer and say, you didn't write this contract properly. Thank you for all of your money, or much more of your money. So yeah, it's complicated. I don't want to become a manager, you know. That's my problem. I don't want to become a manager, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you work on teams larger than 1, 2, like even 2, you start to become a manager of like expectations. Like when I worked with my friend, it became about getting on the same page more often. So with Faceplant, I'm just going to do everything myself. And it's almost there. Like it's not far off. I just have to work on it, and I just haven't been working on it. It's not far off though. To my minimum viable product, and then I'm just going to release it, and then move on because I've got way better ideas that will take way less time. Way less time. I started working on one of them and it's just way better, you know. Like I've just gotten way better. That's the biggest problem with working on long-term projects. You get way better. And does it make sense to spend all of that time on the worst project? I don't think so. What up, Lizard Like? What up, KO? Hello. Got to put a logo I did a few weeks ago at the Feedback Friday. I put it there now. Yeah. Cool. Well, we probably won't get to it today. First time catching you live. What up, Vero? I think hue shifting is great for palettes, even outside of pixel art. Yeah, hue shifting works well everywhere. But it's nice. It's nice. It's very textural, which isn't necessarily the problem. The biggest problem with this is the lack of contrast. Obviously, you have the outline behind the tree, but let me just show you how quick you can create some contrast with just some quick sliders. I'm just going to roughly select the tree area. I'm not going to do it precise because I'm literally just going to change the luminosity. Let's just make it slightly darker, right? So all I've done there is change the darkness, and notice how it now stands out because of the value. You can do that with a bunch of different, just contrast, saturation, contrast. Hey, let's make it super saturate. Or hey, let's desaturate. There's a lot of different ways you can add contrast to a piece. Color contrast, saturation, value, you know, lots of different ways. Texture, shape. So that's what I'd recommend here, is think about contrast and think about how you can make it stand out more. Other than that, it's quite nice. Actually, I don't mind the textural look. It looks natural in a way. Very nice. Keep it up. Next up, let's go. Cartoony art by Lizard Like. Use myself as a reference. I try to draw something cartoony. Any feedback is welcome. Looks like a cartoon. Nice. Next. Need feedback and suggestions. My indie game character drawing an actual play character number 2. Let's go back to the last one. Look, cartoons. It looks like a cartoon. There's a lot of different styles of cartoons. There's so many different styles of cartoons that you can create. This is a very, very valid cartoon style. There's nothing wrong with this style. The only thing I would say is kind of echoes what this person says in the Discord comment, was learning about small, medium, large, and just your general shapes. So what a consistent thing that I see with like really good cartoons or really good cartooning is a really solid understanding of shapes, like basic shapes and how shapes work together. And you'll see that. Reminds me of Rick and Morty. Yeah, it gives me the same Rick and Morty vibe as well, like kind of going for realistic, kind of with especially the eyes do. But this is the same with everything else. Check out references, you know. Get some references with cartoons and have a look at how certain styles are made. Because cartoons are basically the simplification and exaggeration of something. And it's not that easy either. Like cartoons are not easy to draw. Cartoons, there's so much with cartoons. There's actually so much. So get references. But the better you get at normal art, this might seem like counterintuitive, but the better you get at anatomy and the better you get at shape, better you get at anatomy and shape and just the fundamentals of art, the better you get at cartoon. I was inspired by Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls. So the thing with Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls is they're very precise. Okay, they might not look it, but there's things called like character sheets, character turnaround sheets, right? And cartoons are really hard to draw because they are very, very particular, like super particular. You get these things called like art comments, like art director comments on cartoons, right? Notice how specific this is, right? Like drawing noses in a particular way. You do this, you don't do shapes like this. And that's what is coming across here is like things which aren't super specific. Like cartoons are specific to the T, like the ear shape looks a bit sharp, right? Notice every ear is a C. lines, the way that they draw things, the way that they draw teeth, the way they draw face. One famous one for this is The Simpsons. This is why cartoons are so difficult to draw. Character. Let's see if I can find the one with notes. Simpsons no-nos, for example. This was a whole series of notes by the art directors from The Simpsons of how not to draw a Simpson. And they're very slightly off, right? So like no cross eyes, okay? No sharp teeth, no square teeth. And these sound simple, no big pointed smile, but you could very easily do things like curving off a lip the wrong way or adding a slight sharp line, right? And that will change entirely the cartoon style that you're working in. That's how difficult cartoons are. So what I'd say is try and look for the specifics of the style. If you're trying to copy a particular style, look at the very specifics, because that's what cartoonists and art directors are doing. They're taking something and they're simplifying it in a very, very particular way. I have a hard time mocking up. I like to blob up stuff and find my way to the detail by trying to carve out the details. Should I change my approach? Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, Vero. Why don't fix it if it isn't broken? You can try different approaches. There's nothing wrong with trying a different approach, but if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's take out the final thing that I want to do is to show you this look at the creation of more, right? Look at how everything starts with very, very basic shapes. If you lack balanced basic shapes in your cartoon, it's gonna look off, right? Like more doesn't look that way because more looks that way because the proportions are the same and the fundamental shapes are the same every single time. And that's it's construction. That's how you get good with cartoons, with construction and building up shapes. Whereas there are some like almost inconsistencies here with this style across it, like sharp lines, curved lines, this going in a completely different direction, which doesn't really help the form, you know. So these are things to watch out for with cartoons. Cartoons are very hard. They're what's the word? What's the word when something doesn't not as it seems? It's hard to make all characters in the same style. Yeah, you need to follow rules that you set yourself or is set by an art director or somebody who's making it. This I need. Once I get to the shapes, I can never get to my desired detail. Contrast could be stylistic choice. Could well be, yeah. That could be Lizard Like's own interpretation and own style influence, which is completely fine as well. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, next up, let's check it out. Need feedback and suggestions. My indie game character drawing and actual play character number 2. Looks cool. The only thing that looks off is proportions in the arms here to me. Like the arms look like sticks and it doesn't look like this arm's actually connected to the body. Perhaps you need to look at like the boobies are in the way, right? And this arm, it's just the arms look off. They just look very thin, I think. In terms of proportions to the rest of the body. And that just could be because you've given them giant bazongas. But proportions, super important. Check out basic proportions. Again, this is just, it's all fundamental stuff. I've actually decided to make almost a tutorial at some point on the fundamentals. Because I feel like these are things that we are constantly coming back to on Feedback Friday. Maybe I'll cancel Feedback Friday for a little while. Maybe I'll cancel Feedback Friday for a little while, lock submissions up, and work on a fundamental series. So that when we come back to it, I've got some content to go, look, check this out, watch this. It can point you in the right direction. Because it's not very good for me to go, oh, by the way, your proportions are off. And then not have anything to give you. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to go, I've got to check out my proportion video. You know what I mean? I'd love to do that instead. So maybe I'll do something like that. Because there's only so much, like, I haven't prepared the information beforehand. You know what I mean? I haven't prepared the information beforehand. And I feel like we're getting very samey. We're getting very samey with the feedback. So maybe we'll change it up a little bit. Uber tutorial, exactly. How did you learn proportions in anatomy? Anatomy books. Anatomy books and drawing books, figure drawing books. They have, they'll break things down like this, for example. This is an example of Barney and not realistic anatomy, but the size of an average human is like 8 heads, for example. You know what I mean? 8 heads. And then, you know, you learn standard proportions and then how to fluctuate from that. It's to give yourself a guide, basically. So, and then after enough drawing, you can kind of just spot. You can spot when something looks off because you've done it enough. So you can measure something in heads, for example. If you use heads, 2, 4, let's do 8. That's 6, 8. Okay. And that will be the height of a character, for example. The height of a character is 8 heads. Then you have something to measure off. You have the head. You already have the head, okay? And then you might learn something like, oh, the upper body is 3 heads, the lower body is 3 heads, or 4 heads each, or 4 heads. You know what I mean? I can't actually remember what it is, but that's how you start with. How you start it. You know what I'm saying? And then you learn like you learn the basic proportions, and then you learn the what are they called? Landmarks. You learn landmarks like the middle of the elbow goes to the belly button, for example, right? You learn something like that. And the bottom of the hand goes to the middle of the upper leg. Okay? And that's when you start to draw things, you start to look at it and you go, oh, this doesn't look quite right. I wonder why. And then you can start to measure the proportions against each other, you know? It's been a long time since I've done that. So it would be good for me to get a refresher on it to make sure I'm not giving you completely false proportion information. And it would be good to make a video on that. So I have somewhere to show you, you know. I've mentioned this in the past. I don't really like to do tutorials without taking the time to verify information. Sammy is good. Yeah, Sammy is good sometimes. I mean, I'm still going to do feedback. We'll still give feedback. But overall, it's a nice character. I do like the smaller version of the character as well. I think it reads as this character, which is cool. I just think your arms and proportions are a little bit off on this. We're doing research Fridays then. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on in life on the streams. I'll figure something out. I probably, again, I don't, like I mentioned this earlier, I don't really like working on stream. So probably wouldn't do research on stream because I feel it's a too many kooks. It's always a too many kooks situation where I'll be like asking questions and trying to figure something out, and then one person will go down one route and the other person in chat will go down another route, and it never goes anywhere. It always means well when it always tries. People mean well by trying to have an input and by trying to research and help and add to the conversation, but typically when you're trying to do something like that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because there's too many people trying to do the same thing and everyone has a different idea of what the right path is. So it's usually better to just do the work and then get feedback on it from people and then continually change it from that, rather than have 100 like 5 or 10 people going down the different route, you know. Check these out anyway. Not got long. So Ziaba, here's some game mockups I made a little while ago. I want to redesign it. I'd like some advice or feedback about the design and color. These are really cool. These are super nice, actually. The color's nice. I like both styles here. Join in Discord to keep up with this. Let's go, Vero. 7 head long leg. Nice. Very long. Very long head. These are super nice. I like both styles. I like the desaturated one. It's a bit more serious, a bit more creepy, a bit more realistic, I guess. What I really love about this, actually, like, check this out. This is the shapes used in this are so nice. Like the shapes for the gates with the double pixels and the this tree shape. This tree shape is so simple, but it just works, doesn't it? This just works. Why are there so different many colors of brown? Maybe just the way they're pixelated. That silhouette alone for the tree is super nice, but the way that it's shaded as well, the way that that's shaded to give it the depth, that's a really nice looking tree. I'm impressed. 16 times the detail. What up, BBS? Yeah, this is really nice style. Really solid. Is it okay if I post song lyrics on feedback? I mean, you can. I don't know exactly what feedback I could give with that. I don't know what I could give with that, but I mean, you can. Yeah, this is nice. The only thing that looks slightly off, but not off, is the way this is shaded. The grass border. It looks, what's the word? Like banding. It looks like banding. So notice how when you zoom out, the shading on this kind of breaks the form against that. That's called banding in pixel art. Is it okay if I post song doing... Oh, sorry, I already read that. Doing well, about to go to work. Nice, I finished work not long ago. I'm tired. So not a super long one for me. The trees are very, very nice. Very great shape and form going on here. This is just overall a very, very good style. Shapes are super clean. The form's very nice. The colors are nice. I don't have a preference really on either of these styles. I think this one's really good. I think both are really good, to be honest with you. I think both are really good. The only thing that looks off with this one, I think, is the... the only thing that looks off with this one is the lack of consistency with the shading between all of the objects and the trees, because the houses and the objects have a right facing light and they have a cast shadow on the left, yet the trees have just one big one, whereas I feel like this would still cast a shadow this way, you know. And that's the only reason that this one looks a little more off to me. You know what I mean? A little bit more off to me. But other than that, it's very, very solid style. Very solid style. Very nice. I can imagine myself playing a game like this. The red is super saturated. Is that very saturated red? I feel like this red pops out a lot more just because it's contrasting against the green. It's very cool. Very cool style. Like to see more. Spoken about on stream. Cool. We've already checked that out. We've already checked this out. Let's check out this. Is the lighting correct? I mean, this is super basic. It's a cartoon style. You have a right facing light source. You have a right light source and you have a character here. Is the lighting correct? Yes. Yes. I've got to mention it's not actually cast, it's just add contrast between the background of the character. Yeah. Lighting seems fine to me. Very basic character. It's your own cartoon style. You don't really need to worry about it too much. It's in the it's generally showing the shapes, so I think you're fine. Terraformer. This is my submission for the Pirate Software Game Jam Feather Walk coming up here. I had a blast working on it. I would love some good old-fashioned soul feedback on this. Okay, let's go. Did we play this? I think we played this, right? Let me just double check. I'm fairly sure we played this. Yeah, I feel like we played this. I feel like we did play this already. Like that the shadow is blue. Yeah, I like using blue for shadow. Purple as well. Depends on the light source. I like to change it up a bit. See what different vibe I can get. Yeah, we've played this. Okay. We've already seen this. Next up. Near final demo version. Demo on Steam and I go to sleep at 1 p.m. EW's crazy game. So EW's got a game. We played this a while back. This game is nuts. If you like high-paced action, crazy, nuts, also kind of story-based. Well, it is story-based. But it's just nuts. I'm going to see if I can download this demo and play this. If you like rainbows, yeah, if you like rainbows, just crazy, wacky. It's actually very fun as well. It is very addictive. It's very, very addictive. It also has one of the longest names for a game I've ever seen. I'm going to download it. I'll show you the Steam page. Oh no, I won't. I'm just going to download it. Remember playing this game a while ago and I loved it? Yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. It's one of those games which it's just fun. It's just fun. Apart from the story section, but that's a personal preference for me. I don't do story. I don't do story through text. It bores me. I don't like reading in video games. And that was the feedback that I had the first time about this game, was that I don't care about your story, I just want to play the game. I don't care about your story, I just want to play the game. And sitting through like text and stuff, I'm just going to spam click through that. And that was my feedback, was that it felt like two contrasting things. Like super high paced, fast gameplay and slow paced clicking story. And to me that didn't feel right. But that's, again, it's a personal preference. Just like Zai says they like the story aspect to it. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks, right? For me it's no Gucci, but for others it's completely fine. I've seen your videos. They are quite unique and convenient. So what video you designers will make a video on the topic of how to make a portfolio for them? No. Just because I'm not really interested in making videos on how to make a portfolio. I don't work in the industry anymore. And I don't know. I'm not up to date with what people want. I mean, it's probably the same. Basically, the only tips you need for a portfolio are show your best work. You don't need a lot of work. Just need good work that's industry standard and shows that you can do the job. Make sure it's specific to the job that you're applying for. Don't make a character design portfolio if you want to do environment art, for example. There you go. That's all you need. Make good enough work. Make some of it. It doesn't have to be hundreds of. You can have 3 or 4. If you have 3 really good pieces which are very specific to the jobs that you're applying for, you're more likely to get a job than if you have 100 mid pieces. Because what will stand out when you show your portfolio is your worst work. Your worst work will stand out. So cull all of your bad shit and only put your good shit in. There you go. Let's play this game. Don't be like me and make a bad portfolio. local dude Stan right after high school. He sent his portfolio full of very structure-based figure studies to an animation studio. Yeah, it's a common thing. Hi, I have a little question about core loop. How to create the right core loop for a project? What to repulse? How to make the right core loop for a video game? Cut out absolutely everything other than the core loop. Cut out everything that you don't need. Let me show you what I mean. Like if you think of, I like to think of games, right? Let's think of Flappy Bird. Okay, think of a basic game. Think of the minimal viable product, okay? Let's think of Flappy Bird. What is it? Okay, there are pipes. This is how I build a game. This is, in my mind, this is how I build a game. You ready? I do the Flappy Bird build, and then I do the Temple Run build. And then I do the, this is all mobile based. Before that, you can do the Pong build. Okay? But mostly people start at about Flappy, but mostly people start with Skyrim, actually. People start with Skyrim, usually. Beginner game devs and also experienced game devs, they start with Skyrim. They go, this is the game that I'm making, lol. And it's ridiculous. It's insane. There's so much to it. There's so much to it. There's RPG systems, character creation, all that rubbish. But actually, down here is where you start. Pong level. That's how every game starts, with no graphics and very basic gameplay mechanics. But to explain how I build a game, let me explain to you the different build process that I go through. Flappy Bird, what is it? Flappy Bird is a game where there are pipes and there's a bird. That's my bird. Pretty good. Kind of facing the wrong way, but that's okay. And at the end, what do you do? What do you do in Flappy Bird? You tap the screen, okay? And your score goes up. Score goes up. Plus 10. That is the core game loop. That's everything. That's the whole game. What they've done after that is they've added another system on top of that. They've added another system on top of that where you get different medals depending on how far you get. Gold, silver, bronze. Depending on how far you get. They've added on top of that another system. They've added another system on top of that. Leaderboards. I don't know if they have leaderboards actually. I can't remember. But let's just say that they did. Let's just say that they had leaderboards. Leaderboards, okay? Boom. First. Second. On top of that, what could you do? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another system in where you can unlock character skins. Now we've got a bird which is green and has a mohawk. Okay? So, and then they have another one. They've got one where not only that, you can also now skill up your bird. Birds have skill systems now. Okay? We can change the flapping. We can do all that stuff. And that's when it turns from Flappy Bird to Temple Run. See what I'm saying here? The more systems you have, the more extra shit that you've got, the further away it is from the core game loop. Ignore everything. Ignore all of this. Ignore that. Doesn't matter. Ignore that. Doesn't matter. If you can make a game, even ignore the visuals. Even ignore the visuals. You know what I mean? If you can make Flappy Bird, but Pong, okay, it's no longer a bird and pipes and whatever. It's just block, block, dot. If you can make that fun, you win. You win game development. That's how you win game development. Because all you've got to do from there to make it better is add a little juice, add a little freaking sprite if you want, add score. Guess what? You don't even need to do that. People overcomplicate the shit out of their games. Let me show you something. Let me show you a game. Everyone does it. Every single developer. You're doing it right now. If you're a game developer, you are overcomplicating your game. You're making it harder to make. Then you don't need to put as much work in as you think. You need to be more confident. Check this out. What's this called? Desert Golfing. This is a game called Desert Golfing. It is the most confident game I've ever seen. Okay? And I've showed this before. And guess what? It is fun. Very fun. Check this out. Ignore the guy. He doesn't come with the game. This is the whole game. It's a line with a hole in it and a golf ball with golf mechanics. No crazy graphics. No crazy juice. Nothing ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's just you. It kind of does look like me. Beautiful man. This is the whole game. It's the whole game. And it's one of the best games I've played. It's one of the best, most relaxed experiences I've ever played on mobile, and it's crazy addictive. It doesn't even have a menu. It doesn't have a menu system. You literally load the game up and it goes. So all of these ideas that you have about video games and what they need, you're just looking at convention. You're just looking at video game convention and what other people have done. You need to ignore all that shit and you need to focus on what your game actually needs, what your experience actually needs. It doesn't need to have what every other game in that genre has. It just needs to have what makes your game the most fun. If that's a menu system, then you put a menu system in. You don't need to have a menu. You know, people aren't going to rage that your game doesn't have a menu if it doesn't need a menu. In fact, I prefer that Desert Golfing doesn't have a menu. You know what I'm saying? Less is more. Less is more. Stop overcomplicating your shit just because other people overcomplicated their shit and set a ridiculous standard for a game. Right, next up. Let's go. What are we doing? Oh yeah, we're playing this game. We're playing this overcomplicated game. I'm just messing with you. I'm going to show you a really good example of a fun game, actually. This is a really good example of a fun game. Firstly, I'm going to skip all of this text. I cannot deal. Sorry, Epic Window. Although, I will say that the artwork looks really nice now. Visually, the artwork looks really nice now. I will say that. It is an improvement. You know the drill. And you shoot the things. This is the actual game. This is the game. I can't remember which one's my character there. Don't touch the bad things. Slow down, eh? Can I kill these things? Can't. And this is the game. It feels juicy. Graphically, it's collect the R squares to increase your point gain. Gotcha. It's awesome. That's it. It's fun. It's magical. And they're going to talk again. And guess what we do? Skip that. Because we don't like that. That's just a personal preference. Slide. Very fun. How's your demo been going? I want to drift a tank. You want to drift a tank? That feels a lot better now as well. I don't know if you've changed that since last time. But like getting this... I need to go higher. Uh-oh. I don't have the momentum. I'm going to die. Yeah, you can't die. Fair enough. Can you die? Oh, you can die in the spikes. Why are there anime girls? Yes. I think you forgot to unmute the music. My bad. There you go. Why are there anime girls? That was exactly my wondering. But the story, I believe the story has to do with actually creating a game or something like that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to story. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted to play this. Story comes with free game. Yes. Game comes with story. What the frick? Oh, my life. I forgot that there's health. This is really difficult. Forgot there's health. I like how you have the circle around the crosshair, by the way. We're not going to play this all stream. Don't worry, folks. But overall, did you improve the performance of this? It feels like... I don't know why it felt like laggier last time or more laggy, but this time it feels really good. Ah, yes, that's what I was doing wrong. I wasn't shooting upwards to make sure I didn't get hit. Bullet time, right click. Also highlight your box in cyan. Yeah, I'm just not going to move. There we go. I'm going to still avoid these. There we go. Time to pray the performance stays good then. There's so many art styles clashing. Yes. That's the point, I think. I think that's the... Oh, what about that big block? Yeah, that's the whole point. I think that's what's going on. It's fun though. And that's what this is what I was talking about earlier. Remember how I said your game doesn't need like crazy graphics to be fun? It doesn't... Where's my character gone? Oh. Your game doesn't need... I'm just going to hold slide. I remember that was a tactic last time. I wonder if I can keep doing that. Your game doesn't need ridiculously good graphics or like ridiculously industry standard graphics to be fun. Like this is fun already and the artwork is insane. It's insane. It's very satisfying to play, and this was the feeling that I got the first time that I played it, and I still get that feeling. If anything, it's a bit more polished because there's like outlines on things now. Made it too easy with the outlines. Oh, I'm gonna die. There's no way. How can I get past this? I'm just gonna kill them. There's no way I'm never gonna kill them. Slide. Slide. I'm gonna die. Close. The rainbow text could be tuned down for me. Not enough. Not big enough for me. How do you get over this, dude? I don't have the momentum skill to get over these things. I don't know why I'm killing these guys anyway. Can you do this without killing them? That would be like an achievement, wouldn't it? That'd be an achievement. Yeah, I'm not going to play the whole game today. I will play some more off stream though, because it's very fun. Oh, Flappy Bird level. Flappy Bird level. Among Us level. Slide. Among Us. Easy win. It's just satisfying. It feels good, and I can imagine you get very, very good at this. I can imagine you can get so good at this that your eyes are replaced with just rainbow vision. Level looks kind of sus. Yeah, copyright infringement incoming. Very cool. Let's leave it at that, otherwise we'll get to nothing else. Very good, Epic Window. Everyone who wants to play that, I will put a link right now for that. Go and play. Go and play it right now. Who made the anime art and who made the game art? Ask Epic Window in the chat. Epic Window is the Fiverman and asset packs. There you go. There you go. Fiverman and asset packs. Very nice. Very hype. Okay. Next up on the feedback list. I would love some feedback on this track. Does it need anything else? Does it sound bland or repetitive? It's called Hexagonal. Still get classic issue of the player conflicting whenever he wants to focus on shooting stuff or parkouring. Don't need to think about that. What do you mean? It felt alright for me. Or was it something you were seeing me do? I think it's difficult. It takes a little bit to understand the momentum, I think. It takes a little bit to understand the momentum. And I think KK Hugs is right. That is part of the game. Like understanding that, oh, if I want to parkour here, I have to use the gun to shoot up. You know what I mean? I have to use the gun to, like when I was struggling with the movement and having to shoot up to not hit the barrier up top, like that's something I had to learn. You know what I mean? Like I died by hitting my head off the thing, and I recognized that that earlier section had me shooting up and I wasn't hitting my head off the thing, so that clicked in my head. Getting too focused at shooting stuff and forgetting to parkour. Interesting. Interesting. Shooting stuff is fun. Just a specific part. Maybe it just needs tweaking. It's an okay track, Lizard-like. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not necessarily memorable. I think it might be the thing that lets it down. Maybe is the instruments. They just sound like stock instruments with not a lot of like, what's the word, like mixing or like, they don't really have any character, you know. And I think it sounds kind of bland because it's, the drum sounds kind of bland because it just sounds like a stock instrument. It just sounds like a drum track from a stock music thing. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily bad. When in doubt, think about what emotions you want the listener to feel. Yeah. I think when I make music, because I play guitar and stuff, I never think about what I want other people. I never think about what I want other people to feel. It is kind of repetitive, yeah. I think it's because the drum track's kind of the same throughout. And you have this thing where you like to hold on to chords for a long time, like you did that with the other song that you shared. It's not necessarily a bad thing, I just don't think it adds a lot of like interest. But it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Like I've heard way worse. And I don't know what it necessarily needs. It's just missing a bit of like character. I don't know if it's the, I don't know if it doesn't have like a melody. It's missing like a melody which is repeatable in your mind. Like if I stop listening to that now, and I wait like 10 seconds, I can't hear it anymore. You know what I mean? Whereas, do you know when you listen to a song, and you listen to a really good song, and it sticks in your mind immediately? Let me show you an example. I might get, no, I probably shouldn't show you this example. Or maybe I'll do it slightly. I'll do it slightly. Ready? Okay, I'm going to play this for very, very briefly. Okay. Song first. Because it's not, music isn't about having lots of instruments all of the time. Sometimes less is more. Okay, I'm gonna play the first 10 seconds of this. And now this isn't really fair. This isn't really fair because this is a masterpiece. But just listen to how much character it has. And listen to the instruments in the first 10 seconds of this. You ready? Boom. It's in your head. In your head. You know what I mean? And obviously there are different goals and there are different feelings that you're trying to achieve. And with a more chill theme, it might not stick in your head as much, but instrument wise, it's very basic. It's and that's what's missing. You're missing like a melody which is memorable, you know? And maybe that's not what you're going for. Maybe you're going for something a bit more chill, but I think the chill nature of that is what makes it sound a little bit repetitive. and doesn't have a huge amount of character going on. Okay, next up. I'm new to pixel art and animation. This was originally for an enemy on a game. You know how Nintendo is with copyright? Yeah, I can't play anymore. I'm not going to play anymore without risking getting wrecked, basically. But yeah, simplicity, you know? It goes the same with if you listen to a lot of video game music is like that, actually. Like the minute soundtrack is fantastic. Like, it's so good. The minute soundtrack is very, very good. You know, it's down well as well. Like, just listen to some video game soundtracks and like listen. I don't know if it's video games you're trying to make music for, but listen to video game soundtracks and try and look at the instruments that they use, and try and find simple ones and how they can create melodies super effectively. It's kind of the same as to me. It's what we were talking about before with Flappy Bird. It's what we were talking about before with Flappy Bird, where like each of these parts, each of these things are instruments, you know? That's kind of what it feels like. How do you find good instruments? I don't know. I don't know the question to that, but it's very obvious, I think. It's very obvious when an instrument is like a stock instrument. I don't know how you find good ones because I don't make music on like VSTs or whatever they're called. I don't use VSTs myself. I just play guitar. Like, I play guitar, and my friends play drums, and we're in a band. You know, that's how I learned about making music. But digital music's harder because the quality of this thing and like how you mix it matters. It matters a lot. And it matters. Things like reverb matter a lot, you know, reverb, delay, like messing with the instruments so that they work well matters a lot. But it's kind of like, exactly, club DJs layer their tracks. Starting with something simple, you know, starting with a simple idea and then building up from that. And the core piece there is usually, when I've done digital tracks in the past, you usually get like a loop, don't you? But then you need something to make it sound interesting. Like, you need to differentiate the loop. Like, you have the same drum loop going throughout. You need like an A, B, a C type variation. You know what I mean? In the loop to keep it more interesting. But anyway. Like using free assets for a bank. For a bank? The heck? Making a bank? Oh, for a game. It's like using free assets for a game. It's not bad, but you got to make them work for you in new, interesting ways. Yeah, it's like what Practical NPC did with their game. Like, NPC took the assets and then tweaked them well. Tweaked them well to work for their game. But you can tell when someone... You can usually tell when someone uses asset packs. Unless they use them well. And that's the same with music. You can tell when people use stock instruments. Unless they've edited them to a way that works super well. Bastion from Supergiant Games has one of the best soundtracks. Oh, does it actually? I'll have to check that out. But anyway, crocodile time. This crocodile is amazing. This is someone's crocodile. Look at this big croc. I love big croc. Says, I'm new to pixel art and animation. This was originally for an enemy on a game. Need feedback on it. I think this looks great. This reminds me of retro game enemies. I love that. Love retro game enemies like this. The only thing I'd say is off. Literally the only thing is the tail. Yeah, exactly, Orge. The tail isn't moving. Why isn't the tail moving? Like a slight bit of movement, dragon movement or something, that would help a lot. The only problem is the tail. Tail for me looks amazing otherwise. Looks cool. I like the staticky nature of it. I like how it doesn't have a huge amount of frames as well. Because that just kind of looks more retro to me. Looks like more retro-y type stuff. Like character design. Is this good enough for YouTube Shorts? Another one, Lizard-like. Lizard-like is spamming Discord. We love to see it. Go. Finding a good spot for your base. Very long so far. For a short. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I don't think you really need to ask for feedback on this. Video has around 2,300 views and 83 likes. I think it's doing fine. I think it's doing fine. I don't know what you expected it to get. Like millions of views. Probably not. It's not... now it has... Okay, so now it has 7,900 views. Yeah, why do you need to ask? You don't need feedback on it. You don't need feedback on this. You're getting the feedback that you need. Okay, next up. I'm new to pixel art. Whoa, what the heck? LTN games, let's go. If the video ended faster, it'd do even better. Probably, yeah. Probably. That's just short retention for you. But yeah, you don't really need feedback on that. It's working, you know? Make more. Working, make more. In fact, I did have feedback for this, but this was on a... I saw this, right? And these kind of videos, I hate these kind of videos. I'm going to be very honest with you. I hate them. And this is why, okay? This is why I hate these kinds of videos, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because it's clear, right? It's clear that you're a very good artist. It's clear that you're a very good artist and you're a good animator. And there's nothing wrong, right? I was going to say there's nothing wrong with using your skills in a like this. Like it's in the same realm as like fan art, right? Like fan art or like meme culture or whatever. There's nothing wrong with making art in this world, okay? But the reason that I personally hate it is because I've spent too much time doing that. And what I realize is this type of work that I've made, even though it was fun at the time, it was for the wrong reason. And the reason that I was making it is because I wanted views. I want views, I want attention. And it's really easy to get views and attention by doing fan art, meme stuff, or like game community stuff. It's really easy to get attention that way because they have an established audience. There's an established audience there for you to basically pull from. And the fact that you're so concerned about how many views it's getting and it's like a meme game video, to me, it's a shame. To me, it's a shame that like creativity is like that. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? There's definitely, I want to reiterate that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you enjoy that, right? If you enjoy it, oh, why did I put the J like that? If you enjoy it and it's fun, you know, and you like doing it, that's completely fine. But the reason that I hate it is because I've had to learn that making that kind of work, for me personally, was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Because like all of that work that I look back on, it helped me improve, yeah. Helped me improve. I was making things, and that's one of the most important things is making sure you're having fun when you're first starting. But eventually, I think you realize that you're going to die as well. And yes, it's what Dom says. It really depends on your goal. Yeah, it depends on your goal. And my goal changed from but I guess the goal that I had when I was making things like that was to get views. And when I see videos like that, all I can really think of is this person is doing this for views. That's all I can really see, you know? That's all I can really see. I can see that they enjoy the community as well, but it mainly comes across as trying to farm views to me. And that's pretty sad, I think. You know? It kind of runs the risk of building an audience around whatever the subject matter is. So you get trapped in viewer expectations and you can't get out of it and have creative freedom. Yeah. Yeah. That happens. That happens. Sometimes the wrong thing can blow up. You know? Sometimes the wrong thing can blow up. But that's just my thoughts on like social media in general these days. Quite sad. Quite a sad place. Quite a sad place for creatives, you know, who are chasing like views. Chasing views is, it's like an addiction, isn't it? And I know it because I've had it. Still have it. You know, I still have it. I still worry when a video doesn't do as well as I think it should. But why should I worry about that? I still worry about when a video that I've made like might not be relevant, you know? Something. Chasing fame and wealth, yeah. But if you're having fun, like the bottom line is, what if you're having fun, that's fine. If you're having fun, keep doing your thing. You know, keep doing your thing. Keep making things that you enjoy doing. Because that's the best way to get better, right? The best way to get better. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point? And that changed for me when I realized that it wasn't fun. I think that the danger with it is like, why is my mouse not working? The danger, what the fuck? The danger with the like chasing that kind of thing is you think that it's fun, but it isn't. You're not that you're having fun, it's that you're getting a dopamine hit. You're getting the dopamine hit from the views, right? And that's the dangerous thing. You're getting the dopamine hit from the views, and you go into this cycle where like you go, oh, if I create X, I get 10,000 views. If I create, you know, so it's like, oh, okay, I'll keep creating X, you know, or maybe you get like 1 million views, or you see someone who gets like 1 million views, right? And they did it by creating X, 1 million views, or 100,000 views, or whatever, let's just say. And then you get into this cycle of should make this because 100,000. But fun, you're like reinforcing fun through the wrong thing, you know? Well, it's not fun. You're just chasing the high of the view count, you know, especially if you're watching it. That's dangerous, and I do that a lot. And I've tried to stop doing that because I've spent a lot of my life. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm 29 years old now, you know, and I started YouTube when I was 16. And for a lot of that time, it was wasted. So I don't want people to waste their time. And it's much harder in this generation with TikTok and everything. Don't forget the fun, because human is a forgetful species. Yeah, don't forget the fun. But anyway, this is going to be our last piece we're going to look at today. Kermit the Frog. I'm new to pixel art, and this is my first time on Sprite. Have any thoughts for making this look more cohesive? So we got less broken lines in the comments. What the heck? We got this. New pixel art. This is my first time on Sprite. Have any thoughts for making this look more cohesive? Less broken lines, I guess. And yeah, the anti-aliasing is messing with the outlines. It makes some parts look jittery. Delete the doubles and the singles and keep the anti-aliasing inside of the outlines. So basically what they're talking about here for cohesion is style consistency. How do you make something look consistent? How do you make something look the same? What's up, Octopide? How are you doing today? How do you make something look consistent? This is our last post here today on Feedback Friday. How do you make something look consistent? And it's by making, funnily enough, consistent choices in your art style, in your art. Making some thumbnails. Nice. That's going well. Juho's awesome. Big hype, Juho. Fandoms. Yeah, that was the right word. Yeah. Consistent is consistent choices. So a lot of broken outlines. I don't think broken outlines are the problem, but it's unclear. It's kind of unclear why, you know? kind of unclear why and where you've used them. My first thought with the broken outlines was, oh, you've used them on like the sides of objects. But that's kind of only true for the bottom of the hat and not really true for the top. So that's why like your thought process isn't super clear, you know? Thought process isn't super clear with that. Value-wise, it's not super, looks fine, actually. Values are fine. Anti-aliasing, you got a bunch of anti-aliasing in the details of the face, but nothing on the hat. So inconsistent. Inconsistent. I think there are too many jaggies. Jaggies can work. Jaggies can be a consistent style, but it's the usage of them, I think. Like there are some places it's the difference. Like you've got a clean shape here, kind of a clean shape on the face, cleaner shapes around the tongue, and then there are jaggies in random spots, you know, and I think that's why they stand out. If you had consistent jaggies all over the place, like what's the Pizza Tower? What's that Pizza Tower game called? Like Pizza Tower? If you had consistent jaggies all over the place, you'd have a Pizza Tower situation where it works. You also have like random, that's a jaggy, just a random jaggy in places. So consistency comes from consistent choices. You can break down any art style, any single one, even Pizza Tower. Let's look at Pizza Tower again. We looked at this last time, but I think it's a good example of how you can build an art style. It's a really, really good example. Because you don't need to follow like traditional conventions either. Like like jaggies doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can have jaggies in artwork. It works. But you have to be consistent with it. Like look at this pineapple, right? There are jaggies everywhere. There are jaggies all over the place. Literally everything has a jaggy in it. At least one place there's a jaggy in all of the design. So it's a consistent theme, right? It's a consistent theme with the simple colors, single outline, you know? And that's consistent, guess what? Not only across one character, but across all of the characters. They have the exact same thing. They have a main color and a shaded color. They are outlined with a black outline, single black outline, no like crazy orphan pixels, and they're jaggies. These are things you can do with your own art styles. Just start thinking, you know, start thinking about the choices that you're making. And when you do that, you're going to come up with some rules, and they're going to be consistent. But obviously the biggest thing that's missing with this piece, the worst thing about this piece is the character's wearing a hat, right? Not showing off their big, bold, beautiful head. So let's get rid of the hat. Not even going to put an outline. Get that big, bold, beautiful head on there. And this particular character getting abducted. Too small of a forehead. That looking a bit sus. What is this pixel art? That's the feedback we gave today, Berry Boss. Thank you everybody for hanging out today. Appreciate you all. You're all legends. Thank you for sharing your work. Keep creating things. Keep having fun. Make sure, I guess the big topic for today is make sure whatever you're doing, you're having fun with it. Make sure you're having fun, whatever it is that you do. Make sure it's for the right reasons. Make sure you're learning something. You're improving. Doing something. Spending your time wisely. Because might as well. What else is there? What else is there? Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Later, Bolts. Later. Ta-ta for now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Barry Boss. Memphis Macaroon. Octopint. Thank you. KK Hugs. Epic Window. Pixel Toast. Thank you for the stream today, Soul. Take care and have a good rest of your night. You too. Thanks for hanging out, Non. Appreciate you. All the lurkers, all the chillers, appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your night. We'll be back next Friday. Maybe, probably, for more feedback. What up, Dom? I mean, goodbye, Dom. Thanks for hanging out, Dom. You're leaving? Yes, it's time. Don't worry. You just joined. Don't worry. The video will be on YouTube for you to watch. If you want to watch the whole thing again, feel free. Feel free. It's going to be up there. At some point, I will make a thumbnail for these because I don't have a thumbnail and it's kind of gross. Kind of gross. I don't like that, actually. I'll make a thumbnail for them so you can spot them more easily. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Catch you all next time. Goodbye. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your night.